This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
Have you ever been pretty certain what the outcome of a decision is going to be? A decision made by someone else. And then when that decision ultimately comes true, it bears through with what you believed it would be, it still pisses you off. That is where I think you would find yourselves today after the news that Kevin McCarthy, the House Minority Leader, has chosen 5 members to sit on the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th insurrection. And the members he chose it's bananas, to put it mildly. It's f***ing crazy. Kevin McCarthy has chosen Jim Jordan. We'll just read, here's from the Washington Post. Jim Jordan, 4 other Republicans chosen by House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy to serve on panel investigating the January 6th riot. Jim Jordan. Jim Banks. 3, all 5 of these people voted not to impeach Donald Trump after his incitement of the violent insurrectionist mob, after his incitement and dispatching them to the Capitol. All 5 voted to not impeach Donald Trump. 3 of these idiots voted to decertify the elections, voted to overturn the election and give it like a gift to Donald Trump. This tells you how seriously Republicans are taking this. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, Republican of California, announced Monday that he will recommend 5 Republicans to serve on the Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol by a pro-Trump mob. The lawmakers are Representatives Jim Jordan from Ohio, Jim Banks from Indiana, who will lead. He's going to be the lead Republican on the committee. Rodney Davis of Illinois, Kelly Armstrong, North Dakota, and Troy Nehls of Texas, a former sheriff who also voted to decertify the election. Now, these aren't final because Nancy Pelosi does have a veto vote. She has the ultimate authority to veto anybody that the Republicans choose. They didn't play along, so the rules were set by the Democrats. Now, they will whine and they will complain and they will say it's not fair, but they had the opportunity to take part in this, and they chose not to. So we don't know if this is the final choice, but this is the initial choice made by Kevin McCarthy. Washington Post goes on to say the lawmakers met with McCarthy in his office at the Capitol on Monday evening. Afterward, Banks, the leader, the Republicans, said in a statement that he has accepted McCarthy's invitation to serve as the top Republican on the panel, quote, because we need leaders who will force the Democrats and the media to answer questions so far ignored. What, pray tell, would those questions be, Representative Banks? What questions are being ignored by the media and by Democrats? I want to get to the truth. I want to get to the bottom of what took place on the 6th. Do you mean questions related to last summer as the shiny object that you'd like to dangle in front of Trump voters to distract them from what took place on January 6th? Do you mean the unrest and the uprising that took place as a result of the murder of George Floyd? Is that the unanswered questions, Jim Banks? You clown. Like I said, all 5 of these idiots voted against impeaching Donald Trump for his clear involvement in a legitimate insurrection, an attempted overthrow of our government. And 3, Jordan, Banks, and Nehls, the former sheriff, voted to overturn, to decertify the election. Jim Banks also said this in a statement. He criticized Pelosi by name, arguing that the speaker created this committee solely to malign conservatives and to justify the left's authoritarian agenda. Oh, that is rich. He also suggested that the committee should focus not just on January 6th, but also on the hundreds of violent political riots last summer. There you have it. Those are the unanswered questions. The violent political riots last summer that weren't an insurrection. In fact, they were overwhelmingly peaceful. I think somebody did an analysis. I'll try to find the headline and put it up here. That it was something like 99% were peaceful. There were, like with any large gathering of human beings, there were breakout moments of violence or a trash can got set on fire. But overwhelmingly, they were peaceful protests. I will not allow, he continued, this committee to be turned into a forum for condemning millions of Americans because of their political beliefs, Banks said. Who is condemning people for their political beliefs? If your political belief is that you want to overthrow the United States government, then yes, your political beliefs should be shamed into obscurity. You should be shamed because you're a dummy, Jim Banks. Jim Jordan had this to say, I think this commission is ridiculous. And why would they subpoena me? This was in question because he may be subpoenaed, even though he's a member of the committee, because of his communications with Donald Trump on that day. Just like Kevin McCarthy spoke to Donald Trump, and it's been reported even by Republicans that Kevin McCarthy was distressed. Again, this quote from Jim Jordan. I think this commission is ridiculous. And why would they subpoena me? I didn't do anything wrong. I talked to the president. Jordan said in May, I talk to the president all the time. I just think that's, where I'm at on this commission. This is all about going after President Trump. That seems obvious. So this person who has no regard for the agenda, for the mission, for the stated goal and objective of the committee, no regard for it, no respect for it, he's going to sit. And he's going to attempt, it is the objective of the Republicans to turn this into a circus, to make it partisan, to make something that should not be partisan into something partisan. But that should come as no surprise to anybody, because that is the talent, that is the breadth and width of the depth of the Republican Party right now. Turning things that are not political, whether it be the vaccine, whether it be with pandemic preparedness, our continued response. Right now, 99.5% of hospitalizations in this country are unvaccinated people. And other than what took place last night on Fox News, where a couple of hosts said, hey, go get vaccinated, you're still witnessing Republicans, Marjorie Taylor Greene getting temporarily suspended from Twitter yesterday because of her continued dangerous rhetoric surrounding the vaccine. These people are bound and determined to destroy our country. That's not hyperbole. That is what they are attempting to do. They want to stop teaching history in classes, which I'm going to talk about later today. We are in a dangerous moment. I've been talking about it for months, that we are on the precipice of collapse as a republic. As long as almost half of Americans are voting Republican, are identifying with white supremacist policies, we've got a problem. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think about this story. You can leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Again, 714-576-4054. You can email me daily at dollemore.com. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to connect with you on social media. You can chat at me there, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I would invite you to consider supporting my work here on the platform. If I bring you some kind of value on a day-to-day basis, you can click the join button, see what's involved, become a channel member for $2 a month. You can support my work, help produce my work. You can also go over to Patreon, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. It's not just for the podcast. It's also the entire media operation here. Anyway, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Keep your head up. Be genuine. Take care of one another.